Actually, you met with Aubrey yesterday, and I wasn't going to wait to tell you in the video, but now I am, and now I might cry.
I know.
So you met with Aubrey yesterday. I think it turned into more than an hour, but you're going through, see, I'm going to cry, and then we're going to cry, and then this is all
we're going to
cry. So you met with her for an hour. You went over the devotional that you're writing that we're going to introduce and give at the girls' retreat in April. And it went longer than I thought, and I think you thought, but she was a different person last night and this morning, and you could tell was just free. And so I just let her talk on the way home, and we weren't even home yet, and we live 6 minutes away. And she was like, so I told Cece, here's your Aunt Cece, I told Cece that, I mean, I just was a Jesus person. I just believed in God because of my parents. And I mean, she's almost 14, but these are the things, you hear a 20-year-old and you go, oh, and she's saying it now, which I'm so glad it's now, but it's hard as a parent to go, you really thought you only believed in God because of us? But so she goes on to say, I only believed in it, and I was a Jesus person because I was born into that, and that's all I ever knew. That's what you and Daddy do. And she goes, but I told Cece, now I believe in God and have a relationship with Jesus like I've never had before. I listen to worship, I'm prayer journaling every night, I'm doing YouVersion with Ava, and I'm sitting there going, she goes, and Cece started to cry, but she was trying to hold it back, and I'm in the driver's seat about to cry. And so, thank you. Talk about the importance of a mentor or someone, and honestly, like, I tend to be that for people, but for my own daughter, I needed to look to you, and it really works. And yet she comes home and tells me a lot of what you talked about, but you're the open door and you're the voice. And so you talked about Pastor Lori saying, get someone who's gone before you to mentor you in parenting. How important would you say it is on your Jesus journey to have that? And what happens when you can't find that person?
That's a great question. Yes, I think it's very important to have a mentor. I think it's an important thing too that we don't put all of our hope in that mentor, because I've had that happen before, not where I'm like, oh my gosh, they're my mentor and they're perfect, but where I'm like, oh my gosh, they're this great Christian, and so I find I kind of start clinging to them, and then I'm like, oh wait, that's and so it can cause some disappointment. So I think we have to make sure we have mentors, but that we still realize that Jesus is our source. Jesus is our go-to. And not to minimize that, but just being aware, like, okay, but people aren't perfect, and that's something I'm still learning as an adult to go, what? That's going on in somebody's life? Like, I didn't have a clue about that. So yes, I think there's a place for that. I think especially as parents, there's gonna be things that I know I'm gonna be saying to Magnolia, but it needs to come from somebody else that God's brought into her life to say that too. So I think, as parents, we need those people. We need to make sure we're surrounding our kids around those kind of people. We're putting our kids in environments where they're around those kind of people as well. And, if that's church or, book studies or whatever that might be. And then, I think finding one is important. I think if there's not a mentor in your life right now, I think it's just a timing thing. Maybe God's going, listen, like, this is a time to kind of press into me, find some books that kind of help you understand me better, get into your word. And then, I think that person will come along.
So good. Such good advice, that we don't hang everything on a mentor, but that we're open to it. And if it's there, it can be super valuable. But sometimes we're mentored through an author in a book that we'll never meet. Or someone we hear speak. But when we can get that personal mentor, and those are for seasons, right? Like, Aubrey hasn't met with you until the last few months. And it was in a different format when you and Aubrey would take time together. So I think it is being flexible on the mentor thing, because I know I've had women who are like, I need you to be my mentor. I have no one, and nobody in my family is saved. Because, I look to Aunt Judy, and I look to pastors' wives in the past. And because it is often outside of your mom. I had mom, and she was a great friend through all of the hard times in middle school and high school, but then you do start to look like, okay, where else is there a voice? And
like Bonnie for me.
Like Bonnie for you. So you can't, though, be so upset, honestly, even with God, when there is no mentor around. Because I've seen women who are like, well, my faith can't move forward because I have no one. And we can't do that either, right?
Totally
It's just a blessing and an addition. Thank you so much for watching our video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for new videos